Technik is more than just a phrase to us.
We take it for granted these days that Audi is a bona fide part of the luxury automotive sector, but that hasn't always been the case. There was a time not so long ago when Audi was the pretender, the also-ran, the upstart. So what was it that revolutionized Audi's image and changed its fortunes around? Well, appropriately, it's all to do with number 8. The A8 story begins not in 1994 when the car first came out, but with its predecessor, the Audi V8. That was the company's first attempt at creating a flagship luxury saloon to take on the big boys at BMW and Mercedes-Benz. To put it mildly, however, it was a bit of a flop. The creatively named V8 had, as its name implies, an advanced and powerful all-new, all-aluminum V8 engine. But because the rest of the car looked and felt pretty much the same as the smaller, older Audi 200 on which it was based, nobody really noticed. And so, with sales falling well short of targets, Audi went back to the drawing board. But they had a bit of a problem. You see, Mercedes could boast of stateliness and vault-like build quality for its S-Class, while BMW could sell its 7 Series based on handling and performance. But Audi? Well, they had to be a bit more clever about things. And so, with Vorsprung durch Technik on their minds, that means progress through technology, in case you're curious, the good folk at Audi came up with the A8. And it really was very clever. It was the first car in the world with a body made entirely of aluminium, which saves weight and adds rigidity. This allowed the A8 to pack in the ace-up Audi sleeve, its quattro all-wheel drive system, while still being substantially lighter than rivals. And as we all know, less weight means better handling, braking, economy, acceleration, and so on and so forth. The A8 also debuted the now famous W12 engine, which, fun fact, is actually even more compact than the V8, which allowed Audi to fit the quattro system when its V12 rivals were all strictly rear-wheel drive. Add to that some starring roles on the big screen, and the A8 was well and truly on the map. The Transporter series with Jason Statham, for example, featured the A8 W12, even though it did play very fast and loose with the laws of physics. But the coolest role was the S8 in Ronin, which is hands down the best car chase movie ever made. And I will fight anyone who says otherwise. But what about today's A8, the 4th generation? Well, naturally, it's as luxurious as they come, but crucially, still very, very clever. On top of usual features like soft opening and closing doors, rear window blinds, a screen that you can watch movies on, as well as reclining, massaged, cooled and heated rear seats, you can also get the A8 with something called predictive suspension. Now, it can't predict the future, but it can scan the road ahead and raise the suspension before you hit any bumps so the car stays perfectly level across all surfaces. This feature also has the added benefit of raising the car about 5 cm to make getting in and out that little bit easier, and also jacking out one side of the car if it thinks you're about to be T-boned for added protection. Beyond raising Audi's prestige to a new level, there was one more lasting impact made by the A8's arrival. It marked the beginning of Audi's letter plus number naming scheme that we know today. If we want to talk about impact though, nothing beats the one left by Audi's other Big 8. I was in secondary school when Iron Man came out, and all of a sudden Audi became like the coolest car brand in the world. Yeah, I mean, car guys already had plenty of reasons to love Audi before that, right? The Quattro, Rally, RS4s, RS6s, and so on. But literally the week after the movie came out, I had classmates, most of whom had absolutely zero interest in cars, come up to me and say, "John, what was that Audi in Iron Man? It's like so cool, it's so sexy, like I'll know more about it." Which was quite striking to me because, zero interest in cars. So for just one single car to have that much of an effect on non-car people, it was pretty significant, I felt. So, the genius behind Audi's newfound popularity was undoubtedly that marketing person who signed the deal with Marvel. But the genius of the R8 itself was that despite the supercar looks, it wasn't like a supercar to live with. It wasn't too low or wide, visibility was pretty good all around, there was a decent sized frunk, and it was not intimidating to drive. The entry-level V8 model may have had only 420 horsepower in a time when true supercars were putting out around 500, but that made the performance somewhat accessible. Again, with all-wheel drive playing a supporting role, of course. And remember, this was the legendary 4.2-litre V8 from the B7 generation Audi RS4, which revved to a glorious 8,000 RPM. Of course, if you wanted to go even faster, a V10 version of the R8 was also available. That amazing V10 carried over into this, the second gen R8, which was introduced in 2015 and facelifted in 2019. Specifically, the version that I'm driving is the performance rear-wheel drive model, which is a bit less powerful and a bit lighter than the standard Quattro model, but it's still got 570 horsepower and will do 0 to 100 km an hour in 3.7 seconds. I've driven EVs before with similar power to this, but they don't really offer very much by way of excitement beyond that initial punch of acceleration. This, on the other hand, maintains its lunge for the horizon, gear after gear after gear. But beyond the noise, this is also astonishingly quick. I'm pretty sure this will go down as one of the greatest feats of internal combustion ever. I mean, it's not an engine that's sitting behind my head. It's a whole orchestra! I'd be lying if I told you I could tell the difference those two fewer drive shafts and 60 kilo weight saving makes. Needless to say, the R8 is way more agile and grippy than you could ever safely exploit on the road. All of this just makes it all the more heartbreaking that very soon this V10 will be no more. Fun fact, only 7 brands have ever used a V10 in their road cars, and Audi, shared with Lamborghini, is the last one standing, at least until 2023, which is when the R8 ends production. It's been a good run, friend. You will be missed. To us Asians, the number 8 holds special meaning, seeing as it symbolizes luck and prosperity. Looking at how the brand has evolved and grown in the 28 years that the A8 and 15 years that the R8 have been around though, I'm pretty certain that Audi feels exactly the same way.